Нас бы подняли уже по тревоге в любом случае.
At night, Ukrainian attack drones successfully flew to the Crimean Kirovske air base and hit several facilities there. Analysts from the Crimean Wind Telegram channel posted a video showing a fire at the air base after the strikes. There were 5 to 6 explosions near the air base around 3 a.m. Before that, drones were heard flying overhead. At about 1:30, Russian air defense was firing in the Jankoy district, probably at the same drones, analysts say. The video shows explosions of ammunition on the territory of the airbase. Probably warehouses and air defense facilities were hit. A hit to one of the air bases was also recorded. A burning helicopter is seen, as well as explosions of Su fighters' fuel tanks, Crimean Wind said. NASA satellites have recorded powerful fires at the airbase, the Crimean Wind Monitoring Group reports, citing satellite images. The Kirovske air base is one of the key facilities in eastern Crimea, which Russia actively uses for air support of its forces. Since June 2024, Ukraine has been systematically attacking military air bases in Crimea, including Kirovske, mainly with attack drones and missiles. In response, Russia has begun to disperse aircraft, install mock-ups of aircraft, and pull air defense systems away from the front to cover the airfields. The other day, in order to weaken the occupiers' air defense in Crimea, Ukrainian reconnaissance drones attacked 5 components of the S-400 Triumph air defense system. The combat operation was carried out by a special unit of the Ghosts.
Нас бы подняли уже по тревоге в любом случае. Слышь, особки открыли. Ай, посушки и баки. Куда? И баки топливные. Ебать, еще и вторая пошла.
The Ukrainian General Staff also confirmed the strikes in Bryansk. Ukraine's military intelligence, in coordination with other forces, struck ammunition depots in Russia's Bryansk region on June 28th. The target was the 1061st Logistics Support Center, former 120th Missile Artillery Arsenal. Fires were confirmed. Russia has begun building reinforced concrete shelters at Akhtubinsk Air Base in the Astrakhan region. Protective hangars are now under active construction at the Akhtubinsk airfield in Russia's Astrakhan region, where Su-57 fighter jets are based, according to satellite imagery recently published online. The images show rapid progress, suggesting a renewed focus on safeguarding high-value aircraft. The construction appears to be a direct response to a Ukrainian drone strike on the same airfield last year, which resulted in damage to one of Russia's newest Su-57 stealth fighters. The incident highlighted the vulnerability of exposed military aircraft and has reportedly prompted Russian authorities to reinforce their air bases. Since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, military experts in Russia have called for the building of aircraft shelters. Several air bases have been attacked by Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles, leading to losses across the Russian aerospace forces. One of the most damaging attacks was the security service of Ukraine's operation codenamed Web, in which multiple Russian strategic aviation airfields were struck. Several long-range bombers were either destroyed or heavily damaged in that campaign. Despite such incidents, not all bases have made changes. Satellite photos released a few days ago show that bombers at Engels Air Base in Saratov remain parked in the open, with only car tires used for makeshift cover. The developments at Akhtubinsk suggest a possible shift in Russian defense policy, at least for installations hosting advanced aircraft like the Su-57. In 2 weeks, Ukrainian SBU Alpha Group destroyed 39 tanks, 78 IFVs, 124 artillery MLRS, 14 air defenses, 10 EW units, 649 vehicles, 50 drones, 186 antennas, 838 positions, 17 ammo and 7 fuel depots, and eliminated 842 Russian troops. Ukraine's SBU Alpha Group is one of the country's most elite special forces units, operating deep behind enemy lines and on the front lines alike. These operators are trained for high-risk missions, including counter-sabotage, direct action, and intelligence gathering. In recent months, they've played a key role in drone operations, high-value target eliminations, and disrupting Russian logistics. Their raids often involve pinpoint strikes on Russian command posts and critical infrastructure. The Alpha Group's success lies in speed, secrecy, and precision, making them one of the most feared Ukrainian units in this war. On the Pokrovsk front, Ukrainian forces destroyed a Russian UAV command post. All documentation, cache, FPV, and recon drones were burned. Ammunition and all technical equipment used by drone operators were also eliminated. Slovakia's pro-Russian Prime Minister Fico says he won't visit Ukraine because Zelensky hates me. Despite the strange excuse, he unexpectedly voiced support for Ukraine's EU membership, saying it brings more benefits than drawbacks for Slovakia. Strange behavior for Putin's lapdog.
It is very important to start communicating at the level of governments. Therefore, my meeting with President Zelensky makes no sense, no significance, because he hates me. He hates me because I dare to express my own opinion about the war in Ukraine. I criticized him for depriving Slovakia of 500 million because he stopped the transit of Russian gas through Slovakia. For me, it makes sense to communicate and negotiate with the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mr. Denis Shmyhal, and I can confirm that we are once again preparing another government yes, we have already had 3 joint meetings.
Ukrainian soldiers from the 25th Airborne Brigade are showing how ground drones are being used by the Ukrainian army.
Roman, a company that deals only with land drones. One of the first operations was precisely the blowing up of this bridge at Pokrovska. We have platforms that can transport a weight of 200 and more kilograms to the battlefront line. From there, they can evacuate wounded or fallen comrades.
Here, Anatoly, we have helicopters, drones, kamikaze drones, and assault attack drones. It can carry up to 30 kilograms of explosives, and that's it. These are one-way drones. Each mission has a drone prepared specifically. It's not just take and go. The state doesn't provide us with these, and drone developers and manufacturers are falling behind. Nobody wants to die. That's an obvious fact. So sending a drone worth 100,000 hryvnias instead of a life is nothing.
According to Peskov, Moscow has no doubt that Europe will adopt a new package of anti-Russian sanctions. Pushing Russia to the negotiating table is only possible through logic and arguments. It is impossible to push Russia through pressure or force, he said.
Macron announced what he calls an unprecedented package of sanctions, but this is the very 18th package of sanctions that he is sure will ultimately be adopted, despite Hungary's position. And this European package of sanctions includes the very restrictions on the sale of Russian oil to third countries. And Macron, in general, believes that this should ultimately, he says, push Russia to return to the negotiating table.
Push Russia to the negotiating table only.
With logic and arguments.
It is impossible to push Russia through some kind of pressure or force. So the more serious the sanctions package, which, I repeat, we consider illegal, the more serious, well, let's say the recoil from a gun into your shoulder. After all, weapons are double-edged. So let's wait to see in what form it will be adopted. We have no doubt it will be adopted, given the overall attitude of the Europeans, which is quite reckless and even militaristic. Of course, they won't hesitate to continue imposing new sets of restrictions. But obviously, over almost 4 years, we have developed some resistance. And we have learned how to minimize the consequences of such packages. Therefore, this will all require additional work. In the end, the world hasn't come to a standstill. The light hasn't converged solely on these sanctions. And we will minimize the consequences.
A grandson was born while he was in captivity. He was named after his grandfather, Victor. After a long wait, the wife of Ukrainian defender Victor, who was released from Russian captivity, hugged her husband. Victor also shared his joy of the wonderful news that he is now a granddad of a little boy, Victor, and said that this is the 3rd family member with this name. He jokingly urged his other daughter to continue the family tradition.
Oh, she wrote this, a text message.
Who wrote it?
Not yet, not yet. They haven't called. Just still. Come on. Come on.
What's the son's name?
Husband!
No, Victor, the granddaughter, called by text message.
So you found out from your daughter first?
Once again by text message to me, and she called me the day before, equally the day before. But you didn't know that he died? No, we were just at a meeting at the coordination headquarters yesterday. And so,
happened to arrive.
What will you tell him when he arrives?
Oh, I don't know. There is so much I want to say. What news has happened during this time? A grandson was born while he was away. A grandson was born. They named him Victor after his grandfather.
And how old is the grandson now?
2 and 4 months. And does Grandpa Victor still not know about the grandson?
He knows. Did he receive letters? He received letters. We wrote to him. He knows.
And not to the little one?
Very happy.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Did you manage to read that the little one was named in your heart?
Встигли прочитати, що малого на
Did you hear? Tell us.
Well, for the second rank. Victor third on the brain.
The winner's family, honestly.
There are about 5 more families. If only Victor, maybe the whole family. That is a role.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.